Alright. Well, I'll let you do the honors, my friend. We must reborn ourselves, y'all. That's exactly what we did. Exactly. So I mean, if you don't know who we are, we're nostalgic duelists. We used to play the actual card game and stuff after when we got busy, and we couldn't get back to it. But now it isn't as hectic as it used to be, so now we can put a little bit more time towards it. But what we're gonna do is, for now, I'm going to upload at least one video a week for you guys, and we'll see how that goes. And if it gets some more, I guess you want to say views or attention, like word it correctly, I guess, then we'll get more. Yeah, we'll get more into it. But we just figured, instead of spending actual money in the actual card game, which is extremely expensive, and yes, I know people can say this one's outdated. Technically, yes, it is, but it's cheaper doing it this way than you going to blow 300 on a box and not pulling what you need. It's just much cheaper on us doing it on a game instead of spending an actual money. So we figured this is the best way we can give you guys Yu-Gi-Oh. But bottom line is, we're back and we want to get back into it. So what me and Travis is gonna do is, for now, when we're both free, we're gonna try to do a dual commentary for you guys, and we'll go from there. I guess. Exactly. Yes, man. And what we'll do, since we'll try to do best 2 out of 3. If we have enough time, I'll do it. I mean, you guys can see the deck, but I don't want to go over. We'll go over the deck, but we're not gonna go in depth, just because the recording is on the PlayStation. You can't record for that long, and some duels can take longer than the others. So I just want to make sure we get enough duels in there. But if you guys want to, if there's enough feedback, if you want to see a deck profile, comment below and let us know. If that's what you want to see, then that's what we'll do. So, you know what I mean by that. But further ado, let's just go over the deck. Obviously, if you don't know the archetype, this is a Gusto archetype. It's the 5Ds archetype, if I remember correctly. If I'm right on that, I think it's a 5. I think it's like early 5Ds archetype. Yeah. The whole Gustos, they love to resupply their deck. A lot of cards are based off sending cards from your graveyard back to your deck, and also getting rid of your opponent's cards. But a lot of these tuners rely on getting destroyed by battle or getting destroyed by card effects for their effects to pop off. But we'll go over the spells. I have 2 Contact Gustos. Plain and simple, this is literally just a card removal. Nothing really fancy about it. Gustos don't have a lot of cards to remove the field, and this targets monsters and spells on traps. If anything, I would probably say take out the field spell, put a third one in here, but I only have 2 copies, so I'm stuck with 2. Run 2 dark holes because you can run 2. So it's always good to run a dark hole no matter what. 1 day apiece. So those times if I get into a slump, or if I just need help, 1 day apiece. I get no battle damage for 1 whole turn. 1 for 1. Since I do run level 1 tuners, and that can help because that can help me with my graveyard, because this deck uses your graveyard as resupply and as fuel to summon your monsters back to do your synchros. So 1 for 1 is just a great card for that. If you ditch a monster, you get, and then you special summon 1 from your deck. It's just there's a reason why it's limited to 1. Because it's not good of a card. And then since it's legal, run Raigeki. Since it's legal, why not? Pretty much. The only reason why I had this field spell in here is because I took a card out and I didn't know what to put in. And I said if I had a 3rd copy of this, I would have switched that out for that. But this is just an extra slot, really. Soul Charge, because again, I'm always sending cards to the graveyard, so that's just an automatic plus for me. So I run 9 spells, a decent amount. Traps are pretty much generic. Blessing the Gusto is probably one of the best Gusto cards there is. You target 2 Gustos, you put them back in your hand, in your deck, and your 3rd Gusto, you can summon it to the field. And this card, the 3rd one, you can target, like say for instance, if I have my big boy in my graveyard, if he's in the graveyard, I can select him as my 3rd target and summon him back to the field without having a synchro for him. So essentially, that's a must reborn for Gustos. So it's a +2. You get cards back in your deck, and you get a revive without 1 card. It's phenomenal. I think it's one of the best cards. And exactly. Run 3 because it's a must reborn plus a resupply essentially for Gustos. It's awesome. Exactly. Exactly. And once we get to the synchros, one of these synchros, like say if I have this in my graveyard or this, one of my synchros can target that spell or trap and add it right back to my hand. So this deck loves to resupply your graveyard. That's why Gustos are, to me, a lot of fun. Because even if my graveyard's full, I always have some way to resupply my graveyard essentially. So this deck makes your graveyard a second deck. Really, it's not really a graveyard. It's just a second deck. And then Bottomless, because everyone knows Bottomless does. 3 Mirror Force, because I've been a fanboy of Mirror Force for the longest time, and I always will be. I actually just recently found out how amazing this card is. Solemn Strike is phenomenal, and it's unlimited. So I put this in every single deck. It's such a good card. That's why I run a little bit more on traps, because what I found with Gustos, you got to be a little bit more defensive with them. Because like once you get to the monsters, you see that they don't really stack up in attack and defense. They're more about busting out the synchros and just wailing your opponent. So you gotta be a little bit more defensive about it. So I figured, hey Rick, so I figured that would be the we're doing a video. That would be the best way to run Gustos. Now on the monsters, I run 3 Kama. I think it's hard to pronounce her. Century of Gusto. She's just she resupplies your graveyard, and she's a +3 because you get 2 Gustos in your graveyard. shuffle them in your deck, and then you get to draw one card. So essentially, she's a +3. You refill your deck, and you get to draw a +1. And she's the strongest 4-star Gusto, anyways. So I run 3 of her. 3 of the level 1 tuners, because when this one is destroyed by battle, I can start summon 1 level 4 or lower Gusto non-tuner from my deck. I run 3 level 2s, just for a level 2 tuner, which helps my synchros. And then 2 level 3s. I don't really use them that much, but he can actually allow me to summon this one back, which can, like, he's my main combo, because this one allows me to summon him, and he allows me to summon all my other monsters, essentially. So I just have him just for that, really. That's all my tuners, and my other level 4s are Thunbolt. He's okay. If he's destroyed by battle, that next turn, you can start summon 1 wind monster with 1500 defense or less, and face up defense position. Yeah, and face up defense position, and all my Gustos have 1500 of defense or less. So literally, he targets any Gusto I choose, I can target with him. So he's my searcher essentially for the deck. That's why I run 3 of him. I run 2 of her because her effect, whether she's normal summoned or special summoned, her effect activates, and her effect. So this is one of my favorite combos with the deck. If he's destroyed by battle, I pop her, I summon her. When she's summoned, I can bring him right back to the field. So I can have an endless loop constantly going over and over, because these 2 cards work so well with each other. It is a phenomenal work relationship with them. And then my other ones is the 2 level 3s. This is really another searcher. Destroyed by battle, I can start summon 1 Gusto tuner. So it's more of a searcher. That's really all it is. Most monster Gustos are searchers, so I mean, but most of them search straight to the field, so that's always a plus. And again, if I use her, I can search her, no, search him. If he's destroyed, search her, and search him back again. So it's a lot of endless, pretty much loops I can do. And then my last monsters are just, I never really use them. I have them just in case. But it's a 6-star 2000 beater essentially. If I destroy by battle, I can target level 3 or level Gusto monster and special summon it. I mean, again, I probably won't ever do that, but it just helps to get rid of high 4 stars if I can't get rid of them for whatever reason. So that's my main deck. We are running out of time, so I gotta hurry this up a little bit. And my extras, Travis will agree with me on this. If you can run Catastor in any deck, run Catastor. He's one of the best synchros in the game, period. One of the best. I was running I was running 3 of these, but you get level 5 pretty easily. I figured Catastor, he's one of the best synchros, but I either expanded a little bit more than just him. But still, he's a phenomenal synchro to have though. But what were you... Exactly. Exactly. And then my other level 5... Oh, sorry, go ahead. No, exactly. When you have him on the field, he controls the field. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. My other level 5s, this card, essentially, he's just a mini Ancient Gear Golem. When he attacks, your opponent can't activate the card effects. So, essentially, he's just a mini Ancient Gear Golem. That's really all he is. But, that effect can win games, because it's an insanely good effect. And then my other level 5 is this one, which this card is phenomenal, because it can attack up to 2 times each battle phase. Every time it attacks, it gains 200 attack, and it stacks. It doesn't go away. You can stack it and stack it and stack it. So every time you attack Literally, you get stronger with this card every time you attack, and each battle phase he can attack up to twice each battle phase. He is a phenomenal level 5 synchro. So freaking good. And yeah, now the rest of these synchros are just gustos. Only reason why I run level 4 is because I can get to him and he does increase my gustos attacks. I figured, why not? I mean, he's not really needed, but he's just an extra buffer, so I figured it ain't gonna hurt to have him. And then my other level 5 is this one. This you can again shuffle 2. So again, I'm reusing my graveyard, and I've shuffled 2 monsters in my graveyard to target one face-up monster, and it's destroyed. So again, Gustos love using their graveyard. They love it because every card essentially revolves around using your graveyard, and it's always a plus. That's what I love about Gustos. You're always getting pluses with their effects. It's never negative. It's always a plus. I used to run 3 of them. I knocked it down and run more other level 5s, so I have more stuff going to. And then my level 6s. Remember how I said earlier I have a synchro that can target this card and this card and this card and put it back in my hand? This one does. When this one is special summon, you can target any Gusto card. It can be monster, it can be a spell, it can be a trap. You can target any Gusto card and put it right back in your hand. So just saying, if you use this synchroed, you can put that card right back in your hand. If you just use this a synchroed, you can put that card right back in your hand. It's all about resupplying your graveyard. That's what Gustos do. They just keep resupplying, and resupplying. It's so much fun. Exactly. Yes, you can. It would be, but thank God links aren't in this. Thank God. But yeah, no. But this deck, and also too, this card cannot be destroyed by battle, and any battle damage I would take, my opponent takes instead of me. So say if they attack up to Blue Eyes, instead of me taking the damage, they take the damage. So it's not that you summon it and you get a card back. You also take no damage. So it's a +3 because you get a card back when it's summoned. So you can, when it's summoned, the cards you use to summon it, you can essentially get them right back in your hand. So when you, number one, it's +1 is you don't really use anything to summon it. It's +2 is when you summon it, you get a pick card back and put it back in your hand. Its +3 effect is it can't be destroyed by battle, and its +4 effect is you take no battle damage, and your opponent takes all the battle damage. So essentially, this one synchro is a +4. It's amazing. It is such a good synchro because of that effect. So freaking good. Yes, it. And no, it's just a generic 500 attack defense for wind types. Yeah. How I built this deck, I made it where pretty much no matter what hand I get, unless I get all traps, I always have a play to do something. I always have a play to do something. And that's what I love about this deck is how I built it. Travis can tell you this. I don't really toot my own horn that much. I honestly don't. I rarely ever did. But when it comes to this deck and how I didn't copy this deck. I built it all by myself. I would toot my own horn and say I made a damn good deck. Because I have actually barely lost with it, and all I play ranked. I don't play matches. I just do strength ranked matches. Yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm undefeated. No, I have lost with it, yes, but I have won a lot more than I've lost with using this deck. And then the last synchro is really was the main. This one is just only thing I don't like about this, I wish it was 2700 instead of 26. But then again, all Gustos. The only thing I don't like about the art type is every monster, including the synchros, are not that strong. Like that's why they have amazing effects, because they're not really that strong of a pure power. But effects wise, they are phenomenal. But all he does is I can target during my end phase. I can banish the wind and destroy a face down card. So I mean, it's a +1 because yeah, you have to get rid of your graveyard to use it, but I can target spells and monsters. I don't have to target just spells or just monsters. But I have to be careful because I have to banish stuff from my graveyard to use his effects. So I have to be careful of when I use them and what I have to use for them. But oh, I had that deck on here. I rebuilt that deck. I had that my Chaos Dragon deck. It's on here. I rebuilt it and made it. But that's the deck. I know we said we weren't going to go into deck profile, but well, surprise, we did. Didn't really mean to, but oh well. Yeah. Yeah. So what we'll start like after this, we'll just start going straight into the actual duels. And if you guys want to see that deck, a deck file of it, just comment below, and then we'll do a deck profile. But that's how we'll do it. We just figured starting off, we might as well go all the way and do the deck profile and then do some duels. Just since we're coming back into it. But let's get it started. All right. But like I said earlier, it's just the reason why we went on a hiatus is because, well, originally it was my fault. In the beginning it was me, just because a lot of shit happened at home, and then by the time I could start doing it again, stuff happened for Travis, and then he couldn't get back into it. And by that point, once we got out of it, it was hard to get back into, because by the time we both can get back into it, exactly, and it wasn't worth it at that point. Oh, remember? Well, I actually got a great starting hand because, like, when I was going over the cards, if you destroy this one by battle, what I'm gonna do, I'll target my other copy of her, and then when she's summoned, I can bring him back from the graveyard, right back to the field. So essentially, if he destroys him by battle, I get a +2. So instead of having 0 cards, I have 2 cards on my field. Well, she's gonna summon something. That's what I love about this deck. I almost have move no matter what. No matter what I draw, I always have an opening move. What the hell? Someone actually uses that card? What? I have never seen anyone ever use that card. It just does piercing, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. And I'm going to show you what I mean by a +2. It's one of my favorite things to do with this deck. Oh. Okay, it's taking so long. Don't tell me, just fucking... Okay. There we go. Oh, come on. Come on. Let me use its effect. Yes! And the combo starts, my friend. Oh. Well. That sucked. I don't know what that was. Well, what I was gonna do was summon my level 3, summon back my level 4, and then I was gonna synchro to a level 5. Most likely, what I was gonna do my that mini engineer golem, so that way when I attack him, he can't have the back rows, and then fucking just pop off from there. I actually got a great opening hand that time, but hopefully this time when we find someone, the connection will be a lot better. But like Chad was saying earlier, we got into in the actual card game. We got back into it when XYZs were not new, but they were still fairly late. We came in. I think it was actually I can tell you when we came in. It was photon something, photon shockwave or something like that. It was the pack with galaxy eyes on front of it. It was the second. Yeah, actually no, we came in at the beginning because the booster box that was out, that was a new booster box when we came in the extra card game, was photon shockwave. That's what it was called. That was the booster box set, and that was the second set into the Zexal era for the card game. Alright, let's try it again. Pretty much. And I know, and I remember when we first got into the game, a lot of people were saying, oh, XYZs break the game, make the game stupid. At first, yeah, they were...